Hello, folks. This time won't suck, I promise. Welcome back to the TheMKninja podcast. I am Ninja Bitch, otherwise known as TheMKninja, and I have with me my good pal Venomfist slash Nicholas,
Hello.
and I have returning guests Shadow Matt and Nitro Nigel, or Nitro Silver
Hello,
Nigel.
What's up?
I am back from the dead.
I
Wait,
slept
when were you dead?
Oh,
It's Dragon Ball. Death doesn't matter.
That's fair.
We get all of the Dragon Balls this time.
Are we bringing someone back from the dead? Are we bringing the vibe of this podcast back from the dead?
Yes.
Hopefully.
Okay. Anyway, we have this time, since last time was really short, we have 4 questions instead of 2, so it won't be over in 30 minutes. And we have a new discussion and a new anime battle, which is the Battle of the Immortals. Hidan from Naruto versus Ban from the Seven Deadly Sins. That should be a fun one to discuss.
dear. Yeah, that would be fun.
Bye.
Both of them
Yay!
fun.
Anyway, the first question we have, this is an interesting one because I thought of it while thinking on a walk, and I remembered like inspiration for this question, but has hype ever ruined an anime for you or turned you away from it? And I'm gonna want to start for this one because I have like a short story for it, but it was back in about 2013, 2014 when I was just starting college, and I was also just getting into anime, and Crunchyroll specifically was marketing Attack on Titan so heavily. Like, were any of you guys into anime at that point when they were like marketing it as the next big thing? Kind of like they do like Black Clover now, except not bad.
Kind of, but not really.
I don't know, but like, because I remember advertising for it, because like, it said like, oh, the best anime of the year, and it was hyped up so much, and I never got a chance to see it, and it just continued over and over and over, and then when
I've
season
never
2
seen
came,
the advertisements.
oh yeah, because it was Crunchyroll like marketed this thing like crazy, and when the season 2 came out, I was like, screw it, so I finally went onto Netflix, I think it was Netflix, checked it out, and it was all right. I feel like
Yeah.
if I had seen it before like all this build up, I probably would have liked it more. But both season 1 and season 2, I think are like a 7 out of 10. But it was hyped up so much as like amazing. I didn't think it was bad. It's just all this build up kind of ruined it for me. You know?
That's actually leads to the point I was going to make about
Ooh.
hype.
Yeah.
So should I get it next?
Yeah. It doesn't matter. Like, and we can work
Alright.
off of each other and such.
Usually I tend to stay away from things that are hyped, despite that sounding like a hipster thing to say.
It does sound very hipster.
It's just due to the fact that majority of things that are hyped usually don't live up to it. It's like 9 times out of 10 they don't live up to the hype. And you'll get those people who are like, well, just don't listen to the hype then, or ignore the hype, which you kind of really can't. And to some extent, like you just said with Attack on Titan, you could not be on the internet without that being there and just in your face.
Yeah.
And even on like a subconscious level, you're going to tell yourself, there must be something spectacular about it, or it must have a very high quality if people are praising it this much.
I don't know. Usually for hype, you have to get into it like very early on for it to not be ruined
Not
necessarily,
depressing.
or to have. I don't know. I'm not always ruined by hype, but I get it.
Should I go now?
Wait, Nick, did you have an anime that it was ruined by hype, or is it just like everything that's been hyped?
For me, it's usually everything.
Okay, that's
Cause I haven't really anything like room for me like from height, so I can't really name in a specific one. But if I had to go as one, it would probably be the My Hero Academia.
You're dead to me.
Since and so I watched some animation, and it was it's all right. It but I didn't like it, but it just it kind of and it never saw why people liked one since I kind of saw it like discount out thing.
so like Oh, I think everything because like My Hero has like some similarities to other shonen series that come out before it and such.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Should I go now?
No!
Yeah, you can go.
Okay, I was trying to say my answer. You guys are gonna hate me for this one.
Oh God,
Um,
bring it.
yeah.
Fucking waiting for it. Bring it. Do it.
Okay. Personally, no amount of hype has ever killed an anime for me. Sometimes it's been very close, but never have missed out on a series due to hype. If anything, it just makes me want to watch it faster. It's not because I love the hype; it's because the hype really doesn't bother me. When Attack on Titan first came out, I saw it right before it started airing in English dub, and before it got famous on Crunchyroll. I was like already 3 episodes in, and I was like, wow, now it's getting hype. I can understand. Wow, it's somewhat of a good show, but most animes I watch, these are watched before the hype even gets started. So not really hype is really getting me right, is getting up there for some series. Like I'm about to watch Black Clover soon,
Oh
and
God.
not once has anyone hyped the show for me yet. No one hyped the show for me saying it's good
No.
or bad.
No one's hyping that show. It's not good.
Okay.
No offense to any
The-
Black Clover fans, but no, I don't I don't think it's a good show.
The only show that said that would kill the hype for me was Yu Yu Hakusho when it first came out. I
Oh
was watching the
no.
show, and when my brother was like, "I love this anime; it's the best anime ever created," I'm like, it's just one anime about a guy who died in the first episode. When has any other anime not done that? Look at Dragon Ball Z; they killed off Raditz and Goku within the first arc.
You're
So, yeah, I appreciate this
okay.
anime,
Yeah,
but yeah,
Nigel, I'm not protecting you from any of the possible angry mobs that will come towards you.
I don't worry, I get used
I
to
will
it.
not shield your soon to be dead body, I promise.
Don't worry, I'm used to it.
Are you oh wait, so you like you've told people this before that you're not into Yu Yu Hakusho? Because it's it's one of those like older shonen series that everyone always talks about and really likes and such.
Yeah,
And I really like it too.
I
Like
saw the series, but it really killed me with that game that came on GBA. I can
wait,
never
there was a
finish it.
game?
Yeah, on the GBA.
Huh, that's not a good sign.
Yeah, I never could finish the game because like after like the first arc when I get that egg, I was like, what do I do now?
Oh, it's one of those ones where you had no fucking idea what to do.
Yeah,
I don't know. Usually I'm not ruined by hype necessarily. Like I've seen, like, luckily I saw Gurren Lagann before I got into. Like, I had no idea what it was before I watched it. And then I watched it, and then I found out it was this huge hype show. And then My Hero, I started that early on, so there wasn't too much hype because the manga was popular, but not like super huge. And then Steins Gate was probably the only one I can think of that I knew like, oh, Steins Gate and Kill I Kill, like, that's so much hype, and then I actually still ended up loving them. Because like I guess it depends on I don't know. It's hard to think about because it usually depends on a person.
yes.
Because like
In a way, you can
Nick, you
it's
say you don't get hype.
grow
You
by
get ruined by all
power.
hype. Nigel gets ruined by no hype usually, and I'm in the middle. And then Matt, I guess you're also in the middle. I don't know.
So yeah, because I'm kind of in the middle for that, but yeah, but like also like I kind of want to be more like a clear on my comparison between that other show I gave, which I was trying to say, yeah, that like I compared it to the X-Men.
Uh, uh, I mean,
There are
I
a few that
guess.
relate to
Well,
I
X-Men characters.
guess.
just in
Honestly,
in
there's an anime that comes to my mind that relates to X-Men a lot more. Like, if any of you ever heard of the
like
anime Tokyo ESP, that relates to X-Men so much. It's like I call it in my review the anime X-Men. It's a decent
Ooh.
series.
What do you think
But
about the actual X-Men anime?
yeah, there is an actual X-Men anime.
You see it?
There's also a Avengers anime, and I heard that one sucks.
From what I've
Yeah.
seen, why? That's
Yeah,
all I ask.
yeah. It does seem like one of those things that you just ask why for.
Yeah, it's
And
one of
and
those
and, then
issues
and then the
with
studio just takes out a plushie of why not and just throws it at you.
it.
It's not
Anyway.
even the good whys. Beavis and Buddha, but it's just the bad one.
Yeah, there is a Jesus. I showed you that one, the Jesus and Buddha anime.
Yeah.
It's one of those what the fuck anime. Anyway, wasting too much time. Let's get to the second question, which hopefully brings out the inner evil in us for characters we despise. But who is, in your opinion, the worst anime character ever? and I'm going to clarify this.
Oh,
This is a character that might not be meant to hate it. Like a villain, I mean, it depends on how you hate the villain, but villains are meant to be evil and meant to be hated and such like that. I mean, a character who you just hate when they're trying to not be hated. Like you hate them so
I
much.
got a character I hate.
Oh boy, sorry.
This character I just hate with a burning passion, and he's from I got like 7 I think it's called, but and the main character Quentin, cause I hate that guy. He's just like okay 7, and
Oh, I've actually never seen Eureka 7. I've heard good things about it.
I'm like in my opinion, and well that's basically basically I'm a forced is and it's like why
Huh?
oh and then it's just like ah!
It makes him so mad. It's just too much for words.
He's so
Oh,
mad he can't even present his point.
I meant
Don't worry,
to
I've
say
gotten that mad too.
I hated it forced relationship.
Oh, forceful. Oh, I get it. I get it.
Shipping.
Yeah, it's just some guy in the background. I get it. I love that kind of joke. Just whenever someone makes an obvious pun and it's in the background like I'm a giant audience, just I get it. Sorry.
That reminds me of a Tom Scott video.
Oh God, he used to do really funny videos. I kind of miss like his old stuff.
Meanwhile, in the parallel universe where everything's filmed in front of a live studio audience, only one guy showed up.
Okay, I got one because I have a similar character to, or no, it's similar to the point where this character makes me so mad that he exists. But if any of you know the current state of like mecha anime, it's that usually there aren't really too many prominent ones out now. And one of the ones that kind of like came out within like I think it was 2014 that tried to like revitalize it was an anime called Noah Zero, and it was kind of like a poor man's Gundam, and it's centered around like a conflict between Martians and humans, but like the Martians were like humans who migrated to Mars a long time ago, and they feel like they're superior, and they gotta wage war on the Earth and such. And like from the soundtrack to all the themes, it's supposed to be this kind of thing of like this duology of like oh look at the horrors of war, and then it's completely ruined when your main character, who is Inaho, is an emotionless robot who wins every battle without trying.
Ouch.
Because okay, well, this isn't a spoiler, but I think it's in the first 3 episodes. One of the 2 characters that was said to be one of his friends ends up falling into like the force field of one of the robots and gets disintegrates. He dies, and here's legit the reaction of Inaho, huh? Like barely
I thought it was
anything.
just gonna be someone like gay.
No, essentially he reacts like fucking Saitama in the comic panel. Everyone knows, like, okay, you know, basically he's that. He wins most battles. Granted, it's like some kind of smart way, but the point is, he's basically what was it? What's the male equivalent of Mary Sue?
Deus Ex Machina?
I don't know, but basically a male equivalent of the Mary Sue because he never loses, and he ruins every single moment of tension or drama. He doesn't make any good connections to any characters, and it already kind of sucks that the anime doesn't really keep your interest that well. I mean, the idea is good, but the execution not so much. And he ruins. It's not every day that you get your main character practically ruining the point of the anime. And I fucking hate him, and I'm so glad that he got shot at the end of the first season. But then he survived, of course, in season 2, which I never saw and I never want to see.
Okay, to answer your question, it's a Marchy stew.
Okay, March's too,
Oh.
but yeah, he's basically that, and I don't know. I don't hate the concept of the Mary Sue or the March Sue or whatever. I just hate when in execution it ruins something. Because sometimes it can be fun. Sometimes if you play with it, it can be fun. But in this case, it completely ruined the anime, and he's awful. And I wanted him to die. That's it. That's the end. I'm done. All right, who wants to go next? Who can top the anger?
Now, I'll go last because there's quite a bit I want to say.
Yeah, I go then. You guys gonna be like, wow, I can't believe he actually said that. But here's my answer. Makoto Aito. Okay, no one understands the joke. Wait, no, I'm gonna say this. I seriously would kill this guy if the second girl didn't do it first. In this case, you guys wonder who's the second girl.
Oh,
This is from School
oh,
Days.
I know. Oh, fuck that guy.
Nope.
Everyone hates him.
Yeah, Makoto, I know. I seriously hate him because I was happy when they killed him off. What he did for those girls. He has sex with like so many girls in the series. It made no sense.
It's just everyone one after the other. Oh, I know that guy, and then everyone's like, "Yeah, fuck that guy." No, you're not
No
alone on
man,
that one.
it's
Everyone
great.
hates him. Everyone hates
I
that
hate
fucker.
this guy. And here's my answer
Yeah,
why I hate him so
I
much.
did.
Okay. No man, or in this case, teenagers, should take advantage of any other girl's dream. Was it any girl's feelings? Was it extreme to kill him off? Yes. But he was a pervert so badly in anime that he even groped the girl and his final moments of death. Who does that? Now, I do feel sad for the girls, what they did to each other after
He won one chop before he went out.
Yeah.
He won one final chop before he went out.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue.
It's okay now. But anyway, I do feel sad for the other girls did to each other after Makoto's death. And even in death, he was a troll. Now, he's not. Now, he's my worst enemy. He's the worst enemy character to be ever put on screen. And I like anyone to try to top that guy because I hate this guy so much that if he didn't die in the anime, I will find some way to make myself to be put in the anime to kill him myself.
You're gonna make the ultimate fan fiction where every single one of your favorite characters comes in and does like an ultimate anime super move and just blows him to smithereens.
I will animate that on my channel very soon.
Oh, do it! I want to see it. I'd pay to see
That
that.
sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Just give me. I just gotta find some good, cool attacks.
A clip from Mega Man's Final Smash.
Oh
I'll do
yeah,
that.
like that. The one where all the different Mega Men come in and it's like, bitch. That'd be fun. Or like it'd be like one of those like flash animations, like choose your death, and you like choose all these popular characters and they kill them in horrific
Again, I don't know
ways.
how these flash.
Oh yeah.
Oh well, but pay someone to do it. I don't know.
I might do that. But anyway, yeah, Venom Fist, your turn.
All right.
I'm
For
excited
me,
for
my
this.
least favorite character is someone called Rei Miyamoto from High School of the Dead.
Oh,
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I know who she is.
Yeah. Now, I've only seen the first 4 episodes of the anime, and not gonna lie, it's mainly because of her that I don't plan on going back to it.
That's fair.
And from what I've seen, she's so bratty, selfish, self-absorbed, and actually quite a useless character. I mean, like in the first episode, she tries to kill a zombie by impaling it in the chest, not the head, the chest. Now, Now she gets distracted, gets knocked into a wall, falls down, and I wouldn't harp on it too much that this happened. If it wasn't for the fact that one happened before, she tried to impale the person twice and even commented on it earlier in time, and 2, let's see where are and 2, the weapon she used landed right in her lap, and yet she decides, no, I'm just gonna sit there and scream for help.
She is the most useless character of all the girls there. Like even the nurse doesn't do anything, but at least she's not annoying.
Drives the
Not
vehicle,
Aqua
so I
from,
mean,
like,
Okay,
Godzilla.
that's fair. She drives.
Have a weapon. Use it.
And then I
it
think
landed right in her lap, and the zombies just running after face first. You could just.
No, Nick. There's a perfectly logical explanation as to why she is this way. You see, all the brains in her head went to her tits.
That's true.
You could make the argument for all. Yes, that's exactly it. But like, who is it? I can't remember the pink haired girl's name. But she's like the brains and everything. And then Psycho is, the crazy chick who kills everything. And then can't remember his name, but he's actually High School of the Dead was a pretty decent anime because I like a main character who wasn't a little bitch.
Yeah.
But
like, in fact, I've still got more. Trust me.
okay, keep going.
In fact,
entertaining.
that's not even the only time she's acted like a damsel in distress. In like episode 3 to 4, how like there's a scene where 2 groups kind of merge together. She doesn't like one person in the group so bad. She's like, you know what? I'm gonna survive the apocalypse on my own. I counted. It takes 11 to 12 minutes if you cut out like non-progress. She gets jumped again and ends up as a damsel in distress.
Beautiful. Slow clap.
But not only that, it's not like it was in some building or in a forest. It was outside of a petrol station where there's like 4 things to hide behind.
Like I said,
How are you?
brains and tits.
And to prove how selfish and self-absorbed she was, at like the end of the first episode, they're like the main guy's best friend who was dating Ray, gets infected and is dying. So he doesn't just ask; he pleads for his friend to just end it, so he doesn't turn into a zombie. When he dies, and it's quite horrific, she gets in the way and is convinced that he hasn't turned, despite the fact that the corpse gets up and groans like a zombie. And she tries running to comfort him. And when he finally takes out the zombie, she berates him for 30 seconds. Again, I counted this, for doing so. And when I've written in my notes here, it says, when common sense finally decides to hit the protagonist, he decides the better option is to fight a skull full of zombies than spend time with this girl. And she does a complete 180 in less than 20 seconds.
You know what? He has such a good idea that he decides instead of going with this chick, he goes with the obviously mentally deranged chick who loves killing things.
Yep.
And that's just one of 10 times she berates him within 4 episodes.
Yeah.
3, well, I would say 3 because they don't appear much in the second episode.
Right.
And if I count the stuff like whining, complaining, or having a bratty or smug tone or attitude, that number could have easily doubled, possibly near tripled.
I can't remember the pink. Was it? It was Saki or something like that. I can't remember the pink girl's name.
The pink. Well, she was meant to be like a queen bee.
Yeah, because she has like a similar
character.
relationship with, I think his name is Koda, the other guy. But like, I don't know. I feel like they're.
She was actually written.
Yeah, she's written that way, and I feel because I've seen the rest of the series, but she does kind of like slowly soften up, and you kind of like see that,
and she isn't like just like, yeah, I'm ready to kill all the zombies.
She does stab one too. Like she actually fucking like grows a pair.
But she like gets mortified by it in the beginning though.
Yeah.
Aren't we all like that at the beginning of the zombie apocalypse? You gotta somehow change your mindset before you kill a zombie.
Well, yeah, you kind of have to grow into that. You don't just suddenly switch. It's not a switch in your brain.
Yeah.
Unless you're already psychotic.
Yeah.
Kind of like Psycho
like
was.
That one manga with I forget the manga's name, but it reminded me of High School of the Dead. But the only difference was it's about this otaku guy who got a gun in all of Japan. He was just surviving just shooting zombies in the head. Only otaku in all of Japan with a gun.
Well, you know, in Japan it's much harder to get a gun than it is here.
I know. I know there are gun laws and sword laws.
To be fair, like,
I'm not gonna get political
on aneurysm when I wrote my notes.
Okay.
When I was writing my notes, I was in aneurysm because I was like, I'm gonna rewatch High School of the Dead to make my points. I rewatched the episodes just to prove my points.
That is some serious dedication and hatred to this character. I gotta commend you for that, because I don't think many people like her either. I think she's like the most disliked female character in that show.
That's more hate than anyone I ever met in anime, even Makoto.
I didn't think it even dubs or steps over my Inaho hate, but anyway, enough hatred. Well, actually, the next point's probably gonna go into hatred too, because you know the anime community. The question that always gets asked: dubs or subs? So, which do you prefer, dubs, subs, or in the even more minority, do you like both? Because usually I don't find too many people who love both.
Subs.
I don't know. I've met some people who like both, but I don't know. Usually it's one or the other, or a mild mix. Like if someone's really into one, mostly if it's dubs, and there's like one they really want to see, and it's never gonna get dubbed, they'll like check it out. You know.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like with me, I'm a dub guy, and I've accepted the fact that everyone's gonna call me a casual, even if I have like 100+ series under my damn belt. And one series I want to see is Konosuba, but it hasn't been dubbed, and I don't even know if it's going to get dubbed. It's the sad part.
And a British series to watch.
I still really want to see it though.
I know. Respect for the anime.
And Actually, no. I'll save my
Two.
another point I have for my reasoning for another episode because the next episode is gonna probably have a lot. I have a question that's gonna bring up probably some hate, specifically my direction. But you know, what do you expect? It's a podcast. Opinions are scary on the internet.
Yep.
Because oh no, people think different things than you do. That's a shame.
I think there was a Pro ZD video about that.
Maybe. But you prefer dubs or subs, Nigel?
I can go first if anyone's not going first.
Oh, I think Matt already said dubs. I've said dubs. What do you
I
go
haven't
with?
said anything, and I want to.
Because apparently Nick has told me that he has a 5-page paragraph of a point or something.
No, I just put down a lot of words and was like, I got some points.
What he did was
dub should exist.
he took his hands and with his gracious bearded Jesus face, he smashed his hands in his face on his keyboard like 10 times until words came up. It's exactly how it happened. Exactly.
Okay, well, MK, you say you wanted dubs, right?
Yeah, I'm usually more of a dub person personally.
It's two for dubs.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
I think a lot of really good dubs. Like usually people say like, "Oh my God, there's no emotion and blah, 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 blah," and I'm like, "Shut! Yeah, but you fucking watch one." Seriously, like the vocalization and speech patterns in different countries changes. Like in some countries you'll find people who talk a lot faster, and even in America, like different dialects. Like if you find someone up north, they talk a lot faster than someone down the south. So like the way that we inflect and the way that we speak is very different from Japanese. So of course it's going to sound different, but it's basically the same voice acting you would see on any show. So it's like you're saying, oh, any American voice acting is bad. And to that I say, go fuck yourself.
Okay, my answer is sub, and here's my explanation. It's an age-old question in the anime community, which one is better. But I would like to say this: when an anime is turned into a manga, backwards. When a manga is turned into an anime, what do you do first? Do you read a manga to learn the story, or do you wait for the animated version of the story? Well, I like to read the manga first. But the question for the question, instead of being around the bush all the time, I'll have to go with subs because majority of fan subs over the official subs. The only reason I say it is because fan subs really go into detail and sometimes even go all out for the subs. I remember one time, multiple times in One Piece, every time they mention some attack or some Japanese exclusive joke, the text and color would change and even reflect what the translation really means. I even remember watching some Bleach and they did the same thing, and also with Dragon Ball and many popular animes. And it just made the anime feel even more epic and stuff. While official subs just translate most of the series from word for word without even going much effort, like using Google Translate to translate anime. For me, I just go with fan subs over official subs. But if I had to choose against sub and dub, I will most likely go with subs.
That's fair. I don't know, the cultural thing is interesting because I know like an anime that really comes to my head is Sergeant Frog because I know in the Japanese dub there are many different Japanese pop cultural references made for jokes, and in the English dub it's like usually American pop culture jokes. They kind of like tailor make it to whichever audience it's made for.
Yeah,
I
There's actually
I like it
there's
when
actually a
that
scene in TheMKninja where where Bruce kind of reacts to the fact that he's drinking black tea, which to like an American or European person wouldn't really make much sense. But if you go to Japan, it's black tea didn't arrive there until like 17th century or 18th century.
Mm.
Yeah,
I have not seen TheMKninja yet. I've heard it's okay.
So no spoilers.
Yeah, no spoilers. You gotta wait for it to come on. Actually, I think it is on DVD now.
It is on DVD.
Okay. I'm probably not gonna pick it up though, personally.
Okay, no. Personally, I prefer dubs over subs, and preference towards either one is fine. Well, what I mainly want to discuss is some stigmatizations about dubbed anime.
Oh, he has a paragraph. He told me beforehand.
Yes, I do.
Again, Jesus face laughing.
No, because three of us have just said we prefer dubs, there are people who aren't going to listen to us or not take us seriously, like just said earlier. And I think that's one of the main problems right there. That's very alienating to people who are interested in getting into it, but want to start off with something that in a language they understand.
Yeah.
Now, I've got a few points I wanted to just put up an argument for. As Sean said earlier about dialect, that they do change it, and sometimes it can't go as nicely. I heard Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid's dub didn't appeal to everyone's taste. I know Noah personally doesn't like the Danganronpa dub.
Oh, right. I've heard that too. From one of my other
But-
friends of Danganronpa.
Yep. But you gotta understand that dialect is also just to give it a wider. Changing a dialect appeals to a far wider reaching audience, and it can actually improve some shows, like with ghost stories.
Oh God,
Oh,
yes.
that was funny.
Yeah,
Oh God, yes.
exactly.
Because actually, I'm going to interrupt you for a second, but the reason why that is because the anime bombed in Japan, and when the studio got the license for it, they made a deal that said they could dub it any way they wanted to. So of course they dubbed
Yeah.
it what the way they wanted to.
Yeah, exactly. And now it's known as an incredible comedy.
Yep.
Yeah.
So now, like two minor points that people commonly throw out is like sub sounds better or dub uses the same people. Which the first point, that's completely subjective, unless you're just saying that to belittle the other side, in which case you're a dick. It's
Yep.
no nice way of saying it. And second point, to an extent, I agree that that kind of has some footing a few years back, but now as we get further and further, I feel like it's more of a dying argument. Because if you think of like the big animes now, like My Hero Academia, Overlord, Seven Deadly Sins, just for a couple, they have big names, but it's normally mixed in with small names. Some you may not even have heard of, and sometimes that larger name can bring in a larger audience, which could then give more popularity to the anime and give more recognition to small voice actors. I like to not beat around the bush in the fact that movies have done the same thing. Cough, cough, Doctor Strange.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Lastly, there's that one argument where dubs don't need to exist because of subtitles, which is probably the worst argument you can make for a couple of reasons. First of all, the majority of people don't like to read. Let's be real.
Yep. Same
Even
here.
even as a published author, I can attest that might be true. Sadly.
Yeah. So making it subtitle only for one way of understanding cuts out a massive majority of audience, which is a terrible business decision. And just looking at the people who speak English compared to people who speak Japan, English-speaking people internationally is 360 million compared to Japan's 160 million. Like, which do you think is going to give you more money?
English.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. There's an extra 200 million people who are like,
It's the second
want
most
more?
spoken language in the world, I believe, underneath Mandarin, I believe.
and not only that, what if for people who read slow or happen to have dyslexia?
Oh yeah, I never thought of that.
Yeah, it's focused onto a specific portion of the screen, and if they can't keep up with the text, they're going to have to end up keep pausing and restarting the video over and over and over again, which could hinder the power of some scenes.
Yeah, that would be.
I never
Just
thought of the
imagine-
dyslexia
just
thing,
imagine-
actually.
Just imagine how bad it must be for slow readers or people with dyslexia watching, let's just say Goku versus Frieza in sub.
Oh, with all that anime talking, God.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a bit on pausing.
Yeah, it'd be more like a slideshow. Now, even after all of that, if you're still against dubbed anime, then by the same logic, you should then be against shows like Adventure Time, SpongeBob, Regular Show for being in any other language other than English. By your same logic, if you're still against dubbed anime.
I do have like a bounce off point for for the idea of like, the limited amount of voice actors, and it's because here in the West, anime was very small starting off, so there wasn't like a huge pool of different people to choose from. And it's only slowly and slowly and slowly becoming more mainstream. And as it becomes more so, we have more voices willing to join the cause. But originally, it wasn't that way. And companies like Funimation specifically had to stick to a specific number of people because those people they can rely on.
Yeah,
It was
like
still a
look at
small
Christopher
business.
Sabbath's career.
Oh, I love Christopher
Yeah.
Sabat, but even that, like a lot of these people who you hear a lot, they do have the ability to change it. Like Christopher Sabat, oftentimes, like in many different characters, like sound totally different. Like Vegeta and All Might sound
Piccolo.
completely
Piccolo,
different.
And
Yeah.
Yamcha
Piccolo
too.
is a good example as well.
Yeah, too. He voices three characters in the original Dragon Ball Z dub. He also
Yeah.
voices
I think
Yamcha, but fuck
Yamcha as
Yamcha.
well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get that. I never thought of the dyslexia argument actually, because now that I think about that, that's a serious like
Serious
that.
thing.
Yeah, I mean, sure, dyslexia is not like a huge like super common like condition, but it still affects a good amount of people, and I'm sure there are probably a good amount of dyslexic anime fans out there.
Yeah, that's just terrible on those people because like, when I was in not middle, I forgot where I was. Anyway, there was an
He
experiment
forgot
I
where he
went through.
was.
Yeah, I have a lot of
Where am I?
But anyway, there was an experiment I went through about watching. They was like telling me like it was for some class I was taking. They was like experimenting with like dyslexia, where they made me wear these weird glasses that made my sight go when it came to reading, made my sight go back and forth with the letters. And I was like, "Whoa, I can't even read a simple sheet of paper." It was
Yeah. Now, imagine trying to watch this season finale of an anime,
Oh, that'd be
and
so
there's
much
a
work.
crucial plot going on. You can't get the same emotional connection while trying to understand what they're saying.
And if I'm not here to belittle anyone who's into subs again, because going to what Nick said, it's basically becoming
It's a preference.
it's changing who the dick is. Like if you're belittling someone for liking dubs, then you're the dick. If you're belittling someone for liking subs, then But it's
Yeah.
just a personal preference. I don't mind anyone saying one or the other. What I do mind is when someone says one is awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, these arguments
I
aren't
didn't
to
say
aren't to belittle the subs. It's just something to put out against people who are like, oh, dubs are bad or dubs shouldn't because X Y Z.
And then one thing, I guess my don't take this the wrong way, but dubs can help in certain scenarios, like going back to Black Clover. I'm sure all of you have heard the Japanese voice for Asta, right?
Mhm.
If you haven't, don't please, for the love of dear God, because you know how some people get annoyed by Goku, Goku's Japanese voice. Just
Oh
okay.
yeah, definitely.
Imagine the screaming, but instead of during power-ups, it's every other second. And I'm not trying to hate on the person who's voicing Asta. He's new to it. It's like his first job, but you need practice, dude, because that is awful. And watching a dub, it's not hearing wah screaming your fucking voice. Not hearing Waluigi go wah all the damn time. I don't know.
Yeah, this is it's just a personal thing, but I personally don't like. I personally dislike Naruto's like the beginning Naruto's voice actor.
That's fair.
Like, well, not the voice actor, but the performance of it. I mean, sure,
Right.
the dub can be annoying as well, but I personally don't find it as annoying as the sub.
Yeah, usually there's like preference over which one like you might say both are good, but one appeals more or isn't
Yeah.
as bad, you could say. Because there is such a thing as a bad Japanese voice performance, guys. All you
Oh, yeah,
sub people,
speaking
like
of
I'll
that,
admit
there was
there's bad dub performances too, but there can be pretty bad sub performances. Because they're not immune to being bad. It's just because it's from their country. They can still suck.
like everyone's funniest, dirtiest anime ever, Panty and Stocking.
Actually, Penny Sucking is one of the few anime that I say if you're gonna watch it, dub or sub. Both of them are fucking hilarious.
I like this
Personally,
dub better.
I do prefer the dub, but I've heard like bits of the sub, and it's specifically like the one episode where they're fighting the zombies with the sex toys. Uh, when they're like knocking I think the zombie or whatever back and forth. The voice acting is hilarious. I love it. You motherfucker, you fatherfucker, just the English. I love it. And I'm not trying to be mean to any Japanese people out there, but it's hilarious. It was fucking hilarious. I kind of love it whenever like in a sub they'll like try to speak English and like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure does this a lot because what is it Joseph will be like, oh no, oh my god, like I love it, but anyway, I think we spent like 15-20 minutes on this one question, so we should probably get to the next one. But it's with there have been like a lot of anime games coming out lately. Like My Hero Academia is getting Once Justice. Dragon Ball Fighters came out, more recently, and that one's like really popular with the casual and competitive community. Seven Deadly Sins. I don't know if the game is out yet, but I've seen it advertised, and that
No,
looks
it's
pretty
up.
good. Okay, and now just very recently was the announcement of the Arc System Kill la Kill game, which people have been waiting for a while. But with that said, what kind of anime series do you think should get a game? And like, what kind of game do you think it would be? Like, should it be a fighting game? Should it be like a shooter? Should it be like an RPG? Like, what is it? And the sky is the limit, just as long as it doesn't suck. I mean, it can suck if you want it to, but
I personally think there are too many fighting games for as anime
probably.
games go. Yeah, I mean the first thing to go for is fighting game.
Yeah,
But I think ones that have like a large cast or can place or have a large world should really focus more into like an action or adventure type game.
kind of
I'm
like the
personally
Seven Deadly
thinking
Sins
more
game.
of I'm thinking more like My Hero Academia or Soul Eater.
Okay.
I'm thinking of like two different scenarios. For Soul Eater, I was thinking like a character customization, and then you as a Meister, and then you ask what type of weapon you want the weapon to be. So it'll be like sword, scythe, axe, whatever, and it will have a character tailor made for each thing, so you don't have to go overboard with having two customizable characters. It can just be one customizable and one kind of pre-rendered. You can help get better animations for it. Or for the sake of My Hero Academia, create your character and then you choose what type of quirk you want, and it gives you a questionnaire, kind of like with Mystery Dungeon,
Oh yeah.
where it's got a preset of quirks, but you don't know which one you're going to get. You just answer through them to see what quirk you get. So say if you wanted like an emitter quirk, I'll go, okay, you chose this, then there'll be a little selection of emitter quirks, and you go through a questionnaire seeing which one you'll get.
That'd be interesting for a game. I would like to play that.
So, like for My Hero game, you want it to be kind of like some of the Spider-Man games,
Ooh.
kind of like that, like going around and fighting villains or doing small things, like because like in My Hero, they
Yeah.
specifically say it's not always fighting villains. Like even in the first episode, what was it like? Death Arms or whatever appears and like stops a falling debris and such,
Yeah.
like kind of like that. That sounds pretty interesting. And like with the Soul Eater
Yeah.
game, like you're like custom characters, you mean like creating your own kind of Meister and such, and maybe even meeting some of the
Yeah,
cast.
it can be kind of like it can be kind of like I think what Soul Eater not tried to do, where it's like it's a new character.
Oh,
And
what
you
it tried
can
to do what
interact with the
failed?
old cast. Yeah, it tried to do what it failed at.
Yeah.
And like, both could probably have customizations. It's just maybe it's just like certain animations or something.
Yeah, that does sound pretty good. To avoid constantly having my answer relate to Gurren Lagann, because as much as I would love like a new Gurren Lagann game, one thing I would really be interested in is a Black Lagoon game. And the great thing about Black Lagoon is the fact that it's not entirely like overall arcing story based. It's actually rather episodic, where with story arcs taking place between like 2 to 4 episodes usually, with like the entire like the 2 seasons having like maybe 8 to 9 different arcs and such, and it can have like an entirely new game related plot. It can either be a first person shooter or a third person shooter where you get to play as like Dutch, you get to play as Revy, and maybe even missions where you get to play as Benny or Rock piloting the boat, if like Dutch is out of commission. A lot of really cool mission and maybe like achievements for doing different things, like maybe different kills with Revy and such. different characters play differently. Like Revi is a lot more like fast paced and such. Dutch is maybe like more of a stealth.
Tank.
Like because like Dutch is still a big guy, but he's not like the near powerhouse that Revi is. And like with Rock or Benny, they could be again more like piloting the boat and maybe like boat based combat, or maybe Dutch is piloting the boat, and maybe even like some boss battles like against Roberta and such, or even like new characters. Uh, and I feel like a third person one would be cooler, because third person shooters you don't really see too many of those nowadays. It's mostly first person shooters, and I feel like third person shooters can be really good. Maybe even an
Just look
option to
at Gears
switch.
of War.
Maybe even an option to switch between the two of them. It'd be I think it'd be a really cool game. Because I really like Black Lagoon, and we haven't gotten a game for it. And with the huge market that shooter games are at, it's kind of surprising, and it's a pretty popular anime. So I feel like there is still a demographic for it.
Oh, and I guess I'll go next. So I guess the anime, yeah, kind of game is probably one that won't happen, but I think it would be cool if it did. Is One Punch Man.
Like a completely non-serious game.
Yeah.
I don't think it's as unlikely as you might think, because One Punch Man is of the last like probably decade one of the top 5 most popular anime to come out. I think if it's interested, or if people are interested, it could happen.
I feel like it should have like a destruction mechanic, so
Yeah,
you
like a
feel the
destructible
oomph of his attacks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like a destructible environment. And
Yeah, like
especially
just close through or something.
all right, Nigel, your go.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, I almost fell asleep there.
Are
But anyway,
my points that boring?
no, I'm just tired. I didn't go to sleep last night.
Oh shit.
He never sleeps.
I was working on my own series. But anyway, here's what I'm going to say. If it's not too late for the series, maybe an Overlord game where it's an arena stage fighter like Hyrule Warriors, or even just a simple RPG game like Final Fantasy. That'd be awesome to see. If not, maybe a
That's
Darling
meta as
Frank
fuck though.
Hmm?
That's meta as fuck though, because it's an anime about being trapped inside a game, playing a game. Oh my god.
Dude, I would love
Yeah.
for it
Where
to
does the
be-
game end?
Yeah.
Where did it end? Where did it end?
And
Ah!
the last thing I want to say about that, probably a Darling and Franks game like the recent Gundam game we
Ooh.
had. Now, if you can do that with Darling and Franks, imagine where you can do that, how much money you can make with that.
And that
Personally, on the thing of an Overlord game, I would think it'd be an even more meta if it was a MOBA.
oh, that would be fucking
better.
awesome.
Oh no!
Oh,
Yes.
we've upset the Shadow Mat. We could use a lot more anime games, because as the market becomes more and more popular, and of course, video game, the market will never fucking die. And combining this, because usually a lot of anime fans are big gamers, and we've seen that with like a lot of very popular anime getting games and making a shit ton of money, as long as they don't suck.
Look at Xenoverse.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I have like a lot of hours in Xenoverse, and Fighters is also really popular now. People are getting hyped up for the new Jump Force, and also the other Shonen Jump games, like with all the smorgasbord of different Shonen Jump characters thrown in, kind of like a Smash Bros of like fighters and such.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
I remember that.
And it's just kind of like this market that has been tapped, but not like as much as it should be.
Yes.
I just don't want another. I don't want yet another anime fighting game. 'Cause
That's true.
I feel like it's kind of wearing out its welcome.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still excited for the Kill la Kill game because I like the anime, and I think it'd be interesting to see. And I
I
also
think
want,
that would lend itself more to the fighting game.
yeah, I think it would. And then My Hero game I'm still excited for because it's more of like a 3D fighter, which we don't usually see in a competitive area. Usually it's more 2D fighter.
I didn't think such things existed.
I've seen them before, but they never really caught so much eye as the My Hero, because My Hero is such like a huge property right now, It almost makes and it did have a I think it was a 2D fighting game on the DS back during season 1.
Huh.
Um, I don't remember hearing much about it though.
Wait,
So
you never seen Naruto games? They're all 3D
oh, the
fighters.
Naruto
I
games
enjoy them.
too. Oh yeah, right, because those are like the most prominent 3D fighters. But you usually those are like the
Uh,
only name you'll see for 3D fighters. It's not much of a variety. So even adding one more to the mix would be fun.
Okay.
It's kind of like the third person argument. Like third person shooters exist, but the first person is heavily overtaking that. Anyway, now we go to a fun discussion. And this one it's a very open question. Take it in literally any way you want. Literally, I don't care how you answer it. Just try to make an answer that's either entertaining, funny, or interesting. But what is your opinion on anime fan service?
Oh man.
Oh dear.
All right, I want to start this one off because I do have an interesting point that usually I don't feel like is brought up enough. Because when you're outside of the anime community, specifically in like a sort of social justice kind of community, a lot of the anime fan service can feel kind of negative because we do see that a lot in our media. Um, but I do feel like fan service is kind of like any tool in an anime. It's kind of like voice acting or animation. It can be done right and it can be done wrong. Like
Yep.
it really depends on what kind of show you're going for. Like what was it? The anime Keijo is like the sports fighting anime that's like fan service galore, but it's such a ridiculous, over the top, and crazy kind of show with odd characters that the fan service really actually fits and kind of benefits the feel of the show. And other stuff like with my favorite anime Gurren Lagann, it's such an insane show that like um with characters like Yoko, and even for the girls, like I mean Simone and Kamina are all always shirtless, so you
You
know,
just call Simo a girl?
like seriously, like whenever people talk about like fan service and Gurren Lagann, they always like, oh my god, Yoko is always like this. I'm like, well, you do realize like most of the male characters don't wear a shirt, right? Why is it just her? She's wearing like just as much
it's
clothing as
in a
they are.
bed.
No, to be fair, usually that's how it goes. Like with fighting games, like if you look at fighting games, everyone's like, "Oh my god, the girls are so sexy," and then real girls don't look like that. I'm like, do you think a real dude like Ryu or Scorpion is fucking walking around?
Not just fighting games, Batman,
True,
any assassin from Assassin's Creed.
true.
It goes
Like
both ways, people.
yeah, like I don't know, and it just you can make fan service really benefit a moment, but if it's something serious and then like a titty pops out, you're like, what the fuck? To put it bluntly, I guess to say. But yeah, like
Yeah.
it can really ruin something, and then it can make something better, believe it or not.
Yep.
And this is coming from someone who's all about like like women's rights and democratic and all that stuff, but I'm a man. That's just how it's gonna end. I'm a man. I'm a man.
Okay. Well, go next, but it's like the thing is I'm fine with Spanish service, and it's well, just as long as long
Can I interject for 1 second? You're to be fair, you are the only person on this Discord call with a female icon. Because like it's not showing up in the podcast, but he has Android 21. I just think of like I think it's kind of ironic and funny. Sorry, you can
To
continue.
be fair, excuse me, sir. Daniel Radcliffe is a beautiful woman.
Oh god, this is why I love you, dude. Anyway, I'm sorry, Matt. You can continue now. We're done being stupid for now.
well and so was I guess censored and like I don't like it. It's and like not that. It just like
So you want the full-blown fan service. You don't like it when it's censored. Because we're already virgins. We need to see the titty.
no, censored. Get that.
Matt wants it, and he wants it. He wants the real thing. God damn it! He doesn't want those. He doesn't want those light flashes that always happen. He's like, God damn it, get it out of here. No, no,
No.
I need to see it.
Yeah.
I can't just watch a hentai. All right, Nigel, what do you think? What do you think about fan
Uh,
service? Or whoever wants to
I,
go first. I'm not gonna if Nick has a funny point.
I got a little paragraph as well for this
Oh, he really wants to go on about the booty or the titty, whichever he prefers.
one.
Okay.
Oh, that
Okay,
laugh
here's
is
what
not a good sign.
I just want to make sure. I
Enough.
understood.
Ah,
He's getting angry. Hulk angry. Sorry.
Hulk wants the booty.
stop twisting them, you.
Okay, here's my thoughts about the fan service in most animes and pretty much any anime I've ever seen. I don't really openly like dislike it, but I do kind of hate most of it, considering what they do with it. Here my sample. Here's my reason. I like to share animes. That's the reason why I don't like to take animes with
Oh,
fan
I get it.
service.
I get it.
Yeah, because when I remember reading Rosario Vampire, the manga, and I loved it. It was a very interesting story, but it hurts me so bad when I saw the anime. Skune went from being a badass when it ended the series to be the proud owner of a harem. Now it's all forgiven that the manga as well as the anime series are two different things, but it turned the anime into a fan service thing to where they show a pinty shot at the end of every single episode. Now it makes me sound like a pervert to say like I seen the show. But in a sense, I just don't like fan service much in my animes. I can do a little bits of here and there, but if the whole series is about fan service, I simply just can't share it and I can't view it. This is the case, but there are some animes where it does make where I did watch fan service while knowing it. Like in Hellsing Ultimate, there was a scene where Ceres comes in all badass with a gun and cannon, and then they show a panty shot, and I was like, why do they need to show that? But most of the time,
Why?
I just don't have any love for fan service.
Did
I
I?
respect it.
Oh, sorry.
I
Oh.
respect it, but I just don't like it.
Okay. Actually, there is kind of a semi-cultural reason as to it, because Japan's a very reserved country, and
Yes.
women are like that too. So in the anime, it's basically rebellious teens being like, "Well, fuck you! I'm gonna make her get big tits." To put it in an immature and stupid way, essentially that's how it is. It's kind of like a huge because like whenever people see anime, they're like, "Oh my god, is it always like that?" Like fuck no, like this like the dress code for schools is like skirts have to go like down past the knees and such like that. They're not
Yep,
nearly as
those
short
are
as they are in
rules.
anime. So it's basically like a rebellious counteract essentially against the I
Social norm.
prudish. Prudish is kind of a mean word to say. Reserved, serious nature of Japan.
Conservative.
Now, Nick, the one I've been waiting for.
Yes.
What is your opinion on anime fan service?
All right.
I was really hoping you would just like pause for a minute and then just say, "I want the booty," and then just stop. I was really banking on that.
Well, I am an ass man, so.
Okay.
Um, personally, I just had like one sentence that basically just said, so long as it doesn't hinder the plot or progression of the plot, I don't really
That's
care.
So essentially like a shorter version of what I said.
Yeah. However, what you said earlier kind of reminded me, and I think you just talked about this when I was gone, is that there's a thing in the West where like everyone's kind of obsessed with a fart joke. Now, Japan's kind of version of that is the more body humor, like
Yeah.
like the boobs and stuff like that.
Like
So I mean, you got to be able to distinct between what's their version of bodily humor and what's
Yeah.
fan service. But like either or, it kind of unless if it stops the plot or takes time away from progression, then it annoys me.
That's fair. I have seen that done before, where it just kind of takes you out of the moment, and then sometimes where it's just like, where it almost makes it like I go back to like, well, actually I was gonna say like fan service, but mostly it's like in my opinion, Keijo like did it really good, because it was just so over the top and crazy. Like if you haven't seen that and you don't mind seeing fan service, it's probably one of the best examples of like a kind of shameless show, I guess to say, that says, "Oh yeah, we're gonna be shameless, but fuck it, we're gonna have fun." and I have to respect that.
Also,
And also, it's
the
the
best.
only anime I could think of that's ecchi that has a fucking main girl character who's not 16. She's actually 18. It's kind of crazy, right? You never see that in
Nope.
an
To be
anime.
fair, their age of consent is 14. So
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy. Like you don't usually see like an 18-year-old, and then when she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm like 18," I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 back the fuck up." It's like you said you have a third leg in an anime, really? Sorry.
yeah,
Anyway,
and like
now
if you're really that starved for them boobles and the butts, just watch
the
hentai.
boobles. Anyway,
The boobles.
now is the anime battle. The Battle of the Immortals. Hidan from Naruto versus Bon from the Seven Deadly Sins. Whoever wants to go first, you may go first.
I go first.
Okay.
Because mine's the shortest, I believe.
Okay.
When I first heard of this fight, I didn't know who to win it. For example, because like it just like really confusing. They're both kind of confusing with their immortality. You know, it's simple like I live forever. You can't kill me. It's more like I can die, but it takes a lot to kill me. It's like or it's their immortality is kind of confusing. But it just bring up two examples. If Adon loses his head, he's still alive and can talk. Whereas I don't remember that beheading feats happened to Bond. Now, in sheer power, Bond may have the advantage over Hidan because he can, with his power of greed, which lets him see the strength of others over time. Now, I think that Hidan can deal with that, but because he's immortal, but I don't really think he can deal with that because he's immortal, not unstoppable. So I had to go with Bond with this fight. It's simply because he can just take the strength out of Hidan over time.
To bounce off, I'm also gonna have to go with Bon because Hidan and like Bon is already more of like a bit of a powerhouse. I don't know if his immortality is as I'm pretty sure it's probably around the same level because I'm pretty sure he could still get decapitated and be fine because he's been cut in half like plenty of times and
Yes.
mostly been and like just gotten up like and I'm pretty sure during season 1 when like Meliodas like punched him into the mountain, he had like a hole or two in his head. So I'm
I
pretty sure
remember that.
I'm pretty sure he could be fine. Yeah, he of course his Seven Deadly Sins fan knows what I'm talking about. And also his ability Snatch could like slowly suck away the power of Hidan over time. But also but Hidan, like if he finds a way to get around it, it's mostly a even match, but I do feel like the powerhouse that Bond like the power that Bond brings does give him a bit more of an edge. So I do see him like coming out over on top.
No, I actually did a bit of research on Hidan because I have not seen the Naruto's. So I'll agree with both of you, where I think Bond would win. What an argument for Hidan that I think people would bring up is if he gets a hold of his opponent's blood and creates and draws this symbol in the ground, any damage he inflicts onto himself is done onto his opponent, which is an argument I think people for Hidan would say.
That's fair.
However, that can be broken if he's moved out or if I believe if the symbol is destroyed. Because like they're both immortal, so there's no one's dying. It's just whoever's knocked out first,
basically.
And whoever's seen the Bond versus Meliodas fight can tell you that floor did not stay the same when they started.
No, it did not.
So any like if he tries to use that ritual to try and kill him, it wouldn't really do much, and it would just drag out the fight more and more until Bond has snatched up his speed, which is another main thing that people would probably say, like, oh, Hidan's probably way faster because he's known for being agile.
Probably,
well, Bond, and like you said, Bond can snatch that. Not only that, but he can also snatch his weapon from him, which he uses to keep at a distance.
And Bond with his weapons is usually much more. He's like a mid-ranged fighter. He can go close range and mid-range too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Rock Lee.
Yeah.
But even if you said like, oh, Bond doesn't have a weapon yet, or doesn't have his sacred treasure, so you kind of exclude that you can still steal Hidan's weapon, and then snatch out his speed and strength, and easily break the ritual if it does happen, and defeat him.
Yep.
That's it? Just yep. All right, so everyone's for Bond then?
I am.
All right, it appears
Yeah.
it's, well, once again, similar to last time, it's a unanimous vote, this time in Bond's favor. And once again, if anyone has any suggestions for an anime battle, I'm more than happy to hear it. And I will, of course, give credit to whoever brings it up, whether it's from the comments or one of my friends brings it up, and I'll say, like, because when it gets suggested, I'll put it in the schedule, and then I'll write down whoever suggested it right afterwards. Because I've tried like searching anime battles like on Google and stuff like that. I don't really find too many that I'm super interested in. Because like stuff like this, like two immortal characters fighting each other is a fun discussion to have, because it's a lot of it is not based on like oh, you can do this thing that blows people up, but you can kind of reform. So it's meant a lot around strategy. And I will not say what the next one is, but the next one will be a pretty fun one too, I think. But thank you all for joining. I like this one better than the last episode. Like the discussion and being stupid, as we usually do. Nick, do you want to be on more of these? Because I'd love to have
Sure.
you on. All right. And then Matt and Nigel, you guys are, set where you are, or at least you are after I handcuff you to this chair. I mean, what?
Nope.
And you can't scream for help because, of course, I'm the MKninja, and I will
Just-
hear every scream you have.
Just leave me with my Daniel Radcliffe body pillow with this face in particular.
That exists?
Just put up.
Wait, that exists? Okay. In a completely
No,
not
I
gay way,
don't
I
know.
want that to exist now because that's fucking hilarious. A Daniel Radcliffe body pillow.
I don't think it exists, but I just want you to post this image of Daniel Radcliffe with a gun and be like, yeah, I want that on a body pillow, and just keep me next to that. Oh, good.
I'll just edit the image to be a body pillow.
Just have that. Just leave me with that, and I'll be good. I won't leave.
All right. Oh wait, no. If that, yeah, sure. I'll
Wake up to that thing every
handcuff the
morning.
body pillow to you then.
Back to the underwood.
All right. It looks like Matt is going to go back to the dead once again, and I thank anyone who has joined, and hope to see you guys next time. Any questions, suggestions you have, please leave some in the comments below. And of course, just like with the anime battles, I will thank anyone who brings up a suggestion. I do have the questions for the next one all set, but episode 4 is still being worked on. So once again, any suggestions, much appreciated. Catch you guys
Any
later.
suggestions? We're lazy and not that creative.
Yeah, I mean, I only wrote a book and all. That's where all my ideas
Yeah.
went. I kind of drained right now. I'm lazy. We're all
Yeah,
lazy.
we're lazy and not creative.
Yay.
So
Anyway.
help us.
Yeah, help us out.
And
Please.
we'll write off your success.
We'll steal your success.
We'll steal your ideas and write off your success.
Yeah. All right. All you guys out there, take care. Have a good day.
Goodbye.
Bye.